Welcome back to this week's episode of I'm Just Saying Sports Talk. It's been a minute, Kendrick.
We're back from spring break.
Back from spring break, back from the busyness of life.
Oh, yeah.
So we're back on our job, we're back on this, and just a few things we need to talk about. It's probably a lot, actually.
A lot.
So thank y'all for tuning in. I guess we can start with March Madness, man.
It's some madness going on, too.
It's definitely
God, it is.
A madman. So how's your bracket?
Busted.
Yeah.
But I got Villanova in it to win it.
Yeah, you still in the house.
Yeah.
I had UVA, so mine is shot, but folks, we doing a competitive bracket here.
Yeah.
Where you add up the points. So I'm in first place.
You still in first?
I'm still in first place. You behind me real close by like 2 points. So
after this weekend, you
it's gonna be over.
UVA killed you.
So man, let's look at this like seriously, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So, man, I brought my wrong. Oh no, I didn't. Here it is. What I say? I brought my wrong.
Notes.
I have my raggedy bracket with me. Yeah. So. We got 3 games left in the Sweet 16. We got Clemson versus Kansas. We got a number 5 seed versus a number 1. West Virginia versus Villanova, 5 seed versus a 1 seed. And Syracuse and Duke, 11 seed versus a 2 seed. So theoretically, if the upsets happen, we could lose all of the 1 and 2 seeds.
All of
them. Today.
That's crazy.
So, this is like,
it's
wow. Like seriously. So
and it could actually happen too.
It really can happen.
Because West Virginia, that is a sleep. They're a sleeper.
Yeah.
Villanova need to bring the A game.
Yeah. I mean, the 1 and 5 is going to be a competitive game.
Clemson, they can.
Yeah, we talking about impossibility.
That's right.
It's in the realm of possibility of happening. So, this is wild. Duke should take care of Syracuse, but it's not gonna be a cakewalk though.
I think it will tonight.
I hope so, but I'm not. The way this is going,
I hope it won't be.
I hope it.
I know, but I hope Syracuse upset them, but I don't see it. Not the way they're playing right now.
So check this out, right? We could end up with an Elite 8 looking like this. Already we have a Loyola, Illinois versus Kansas.
Kansas
State versus Florida State and Michigan. That's an 11 seed versus a 9.
Yeah.
And a 9 versus a 3. And if the upsets happen, the highest seed would be Michigan with 3, and the rest, 5, 11s, and 9s.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, it just goes to show there's a lot of parity in college basketball.
So, now that you mentioned parity, all right, this is what I think. My conspiracy hat is on. All right. I think the NCAA loves this drama. I think it's single-handedly the best sporting event in the U.S. because of your underdogs, your smaller schools actually can win the big game.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to them. It's not some committee, saying they can't come in because we just don't feel like it, or they doing all this strength of schedule stuff, trying to measure losses.
Yeah.
Like but it comes down to you win your conference, you get a berth, you can go and play and possibly compete, right? So I appreciate that. But I think, it's a dual-edged sword. I love it. But do you think the big schools are eventually going to be like...
You think they're gonna pull out and start their own tournament?
No, man. I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna sabotage this and make it to where the little man can't win.
I don't know how they're gonna do it.
I don't either. But think about it. these schools, they're not happy about. I mean, you even have some fans that are like, "Oh, I don't like this," and I'm like, "So you want it fixed?"
Exactly.
Like they really want it rigged. They want it to be.
I love it.
I love it too. But you have some that are saying, "Oh man, what's the point of them winning just to get there and fall off?" But that's the great part about it.
Exactly.
That's the great part about it. But I think in the grand scheme, I think this helps college basketball.
Big time.
Because, okay, those first round tickets, man, I didn't want to pay for those.
Yeah.
Because on paper, the game looked like, man, I'm not paying for that and going to spend 3 hours of my day in that arena. You know what I'm saying? So I passed on it. But now it's added value. Like every game could potentially be a great game.
It could, but the only thing, and I guess I do have to agree to a sense of what you're saying about the sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
I think the bigger schools and the NCAA would possibly collaborate and come up with a way.
They are.
Because the NCAA is going to be losing money too.
They
and
are.
The reason why I say that is because a team like Loyola, Illinois.
Right.
Okay, if they make it to the, the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm.
Their fan base is not as large as a Michigan fan base.
You're right. They're in the Elite Eight.
Or,
they're there.
Or a Duke fan base.
Right.
Or, yeah, that's true. They're in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
Or a Kansas, Carolina.
Right, yeah. So who's going to buy Loyola, Illinois, or Chicago T-shirts and hats?
Exactly.
I get it.
There's going to be a few people to do it, but the numbers are going to decrease. So I think the NCAA, they dirty anyway. So
yeah, I think, man,
they'll figure out a way.
I think they're going to rig this thing, man, to make it. I mean, that's why football is rigged.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just rigged. Like, you could go undefeated no matter
what conference you're from.
Yeah, that's right. And you're not going to get a shot at it.
Unless, you know, if you go undefeated and you from the SEC or the ACC.
Yeah. But I'm talking about
be number one.
But I'm talking about your low-level schools that the average person haven't heard of.
Yeah.
They don't have a chance.
You can't go undefeated from the MAC and be
not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
You know, so it's gonna be interesting if Duke doesn't win. You know what I mean? If one of these 11 seeds or 9 seeds,
if Duke and Kansas get put out and Michigan,
yeah. But see, for me, it's gonna be good basketball. But to be honest, I don't want to see 2 9 seeds play each other. If it came down, I want a powerhouse to play an underdog.
Yeah.
You know, and win it that way.
Well, you actually saw one last night.
But I'm saying, like, for the final. Like you're right.
What Florida State did to Gonzaga.
No, you're right.
Gonzaga, the Zags, everybody holler about the Zags.
I always
Who would have thought that the Florida State Seminoles, which is a football school,
that's true,
would come in there and beat Gonzaga?
You wouldn't think so. So, all right, let me ask you this. Is it teams overlooking or underestimating the underdog schools, the smaller schools, the football schools, or the schools that don't have the high recruits? Is it the teams underestimating, or is it the coaches failing to prepare these players for those games?
No, it's a little of all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's another piece to that puzzle, and the other piece is the AAU circuit. The reason why I say that is
they all playing each other.
These kids play each other throughout the summer, year round,
right?
Before they get to college.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got your kid, if the kid's playing AAU, and I've seen it, I saw this how the circuit works. They are going to be playing. These kids, top notch, whatever, 5 stars, 4 stars,
mm-hmm.
They will be going up against them throughout the summer. They have these big tournaments. At these tournaments, they have big crowds.
Right.
So therefore, when these kids go in to play in this March Madness tournament,
they're already ready.
It's just like AAU circuit.
Gotcha.
That's all it is.
So you're saying not only they're prepared in the same ways.
AAU has prepared the kids.
As the blue chip athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But also their skills are getting on par.
That's right.
All right. So how about this? We agree they're going to do something. We think something's going to happen if this thing keeps going the way that it's going, right? That
Yeah.
Okay. So this may be the perfect storm for Adam Silver to get rid of, to let high schoolers come straight to the pros.
True.
Because another factor I think is like a Kentucky. They have great talent, but no cohesion. So they're getting beat by teams that may have a few more veterans, older kids on there.
Mm-hmm.
So this may be the thing to say, well, you know what? This might improve this tournament by getting rid of the one and dones and letting them come straight in, and then all you're left with are kids that need to stay or want to stay.
True.
So this might feed right into a change at the NBA level, which will actively be a change, because then it's like, well, man, stacking these teams with the best talent and they're leaving after 1 or 2 years, it's not resulting in a national championship.
But what you think is the best talent, really, they're not the best talent. They're talented.
They're talented individually.
But there's other talent. There's other talent out there too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean,
those stars don't really mean nothing nowadays.
Yeah, especially if you don't keep them.
Those 4 stars, 5 stars, they don't mean nothing.
Well, they don't keep them long enough to get everything out of them.
That's true. But let me give you
By the time you learn them, they gone.
Let me give you a prime example how March Madness is happening. Okay. Prime example is, and we just saw it a few weekends ago, when Northside High School in Jacksonville played Cox Mill High School from Concord, Charlotte area. Okay, they have 3 guys that are pegged Division I players.
Right.
One of the guys is already, he's already committed to Carolina. Mm-hmm. And that's Leaky Black. He's 6'8" kid, point guard. Can play. But this kid,
he didn't look like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm gonna give you an example of this. Okay, so Leaky Black go to Carolina. All right. So he will play against a kid that named Kenny Dye was the point guard for Northside. All right, Kenny Dye looked like he should have been him and Gabe Kirkendall. That game looked like they were the D1 players.
Gabe looked like the best player. If you had just came from Mars and said, "Show me top player in this gym,"
that's right.
He looked like the guy going to Carolina.
That's right. And and then Cox Mills had Wendell Moore, who's playing USA basketball and all this other stuff. And then the Carrawell kid, his dad played at Duke. Okay, so all those boys can really play ball, and I'm not taking anything away from them. But the kids at Northside were overlooked because they don't have that hype, and they're not in that area. And they also size plays a These guys are.
As soon as you say 6'8".
Yeah. These guys are 6'6" and above. Yeah. Okay, so we'll give them that. But you'll have a Leaky Black team for Carolina. We'll play against potentially, if depends on what school. Gabe Kirkendall or Kenny Dye will go to, or Jason Robinson, Demetrius Jones, those boys play at Northside, will go to. They will play against a Leaky Black again,
right,
in college in this March Madness tournament,
and be totally confident.
That's right,
because they know they can play.
That's right, and that's what AAU has done for those guys, because with our guys from Northside, they've been playing AAU. The boys been together since 7th grade. They've been playing AAU since then. They played against guys like that.
Yeah, they already knew they can play with.
That's
them.
right.
And they're like, yeah, I hear you.
That's right.
But I've been in the gym.
And that also gives the guys that self-confidence.
Yeah.
So when you go out there, you see these guys, and say during the summer, your 7th, 8th grade year, they may beat you, but it wasn't a bad whooping. And then maybe you come back the following summer and you beat them.
Yeah.
So what you think is going to look like now when you get to college?
Yeah, that's true. So it used to be a handful of players that got special training.
Yeah.
And access to around off-season training and
That's right.
advanced skill development.
That's right.
Now it looks like anybody who want it
That's right.
can get it.
And put forth the effort.
And yeah, they have that desire. So yeah, so you're right. The talent, the tournament could reflect, like you said,
That's right.
that whole meshing of talent over the years.
That's
and
right.
it's just that everybody don't have to go to Carolina or Duke or whatever.
That's right.
And they can go over there and play and be competitive.
And there's no reason that Gabe and Kenny should not also be Division I ball players. They look like
when you
they went against D1.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you don't win 59 games in a row.
Yeah.
And not be the truth.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, I agree. So this tournament, I think, is showing a some side effects or some symptoms of a bigger picture of what's going on. Like it's the rubber is meeting the road in the tournament, and it's like, wait a second. So I think this is a perfect storm for some changes to be made at the NBA level. I think it speaks to college basketball as far as, man, just go somewhere and win.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if you can play. To me, the most important thing is to play. You got a nice guy. What you riding a pine for over here if you can start over here?
Exactly.
Go play, win,
That's right.
and then compete against those starters.
And that's what you're seeing. Look at like what UMBC did against Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
That the kid that I think one of the kids that was the primetime player for them was supposed to transfer to Virginia,
mm-hmm.
but he didn't.
Right.
Because both of his parents went to Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed where he was, and look what he did.
Right. Right.
So what did he do really? He didn't do anything but up his draft stock.
That's true. That's true. So I'm enjoying this on many levels, and it's just something to think about. And I hope they don't make any changes and keep this format the same and make the entrance criteria the same.
I hope so too.
Because it's making people think about basketball differently.
Yeah.
And I think another thing, the way that basketball has changed, you don't necessarily have to be the biggest person in the gym anymore.
That's right.
Because it's so skilled with jump shooting and corner threes and passing, having a complete game,
mm-hmm.
that you may have some big athletic guys, but then you may have 5 guys that can pass, dribble, and shoot.
That's right.
They may not be the biggest, but they're so skilled that, man, they can overcome some of that. Because look at how a lot of these teams are getting out-rebounded by smaller teams.
That's right.
And so I'm enjoying it, So, folks, that's our take on this tournament. We'll see what happens tonight and throughout the weekend. I tell you what, make sure to keep the greenhouse emissions low. Recycle those brackets, y'all. Don't just throw them in the trash can because we already got problems with the ozone and everything, and they need to find college basketball to make
I need print mine. Mine's still electronic.
So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, and thank you for your support, and have a great weekend.